Hi, my name is Ariel Ceylan, and I have 7 not so easy and yet not quite so hard tips for accepting yourself. One of the things that really bothers me and was really hard is finding happiness. And honestly, happiness is not something that's going to come easily, or once you do these 7 steps, you're going to become happy for all eternity. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's a process. Kind of like 7 easy steps, kind of like a guide that you can do that will help you to become happy and accept yourself. Because the most important part of happiness is accepting that person who's in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, it's that person who's in the mirror is the person you're stuck with. Doesn't matter if you're dating someone or married or any relationship thing you've got going on. At the end of the day, it's just you, yourself, and you. So here are my 7 not so easy and yet not quite so hard steps onto accepting yourself. First is realizing that you want to make a change. And realizing that you want to make a change is not your parents or your friends or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever's saying something's wrong with you, you need to fix yourself before we can continue our relationship. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you realizing that there's something that's really, really bothersome, something that's not quite right. Like, how come I can't be happy? And you need to realize that for yourself, and you need to feel it, really feel it deep down inside of you. Of course, you might be wondering, Ariel Ceylan, you're not even old enough to drink. You can barely vote. Why should I listen to you? I don't know. Maybe it's because I've done this before and I've kind of lived through this, and I see plenty of people who are my age who are still struggling with this. I have a friend who still has yet to realize that she needs to make a change for herself. So that's step 1. You need to find that you want to make a change for yours truly. Second, I want you to log off everything. Turn off your Facebook, your Twitter, get off your email, turn off the TV, don't look at any magazines. Even stop accepting a couple friends' phone calls and texts. You have to cut yourself off from everything. This is about you now. It's the time for you to have some you time. What got you into some of this trouble is because you let other people dictate on how you should think about yourself. It's time for you to take control over your life and realize that, yes, I want to be happy for me. So that second thing you need to do after you realize that you want to be happy for yourself is to log off everything. Have as little influences as possible. Lock yourself up in your room. So after you do that, number 3, what I want you to do when you're in isolation is to do that thing that you love. If you don't know what that thing is that you love yet, well, try to find something that interests you, or just to try to do something just to try to do it. But if you do have that thing that you want to do that makes you happy, go out and do it. Don't do it with anybody else. Just do it because it feels good and it makes you happy. And it's just kind of everything's feeling awesome. Life makes sense. That's kind of how it feels like for me when I do Taekwondo. I love sparring. And when I spar, it's kind of waterfalls open up in the universe and life makes sense for me. I love sparring. That's my thing. I want you to do your thing. So when you're done doing your thing, that 4th thing you have to do is, when you're still in that high after just doing what it is that you want to do and that made you so happy, I want you to sit down with pencil and paper, or Microsoft Word Presser or Mac Word or whatever, some sort of writing processor, and I want you to write a couple of lists. First list I want you to write is what you like about yourself. Second list I want you to write is what you don't like about yourself. Third list, write down the things that make you happy. Fourth list, I want you to write down what bugs you. Now the second list, which are the things that you don't like about yourself, after each one of those things, I want you to write, so what? So that when you're done with that list, I want you to go over it down. Yeah, these are things that I like about myself. Okay, great. Like, I have great hair, I have great eyes, I have a great sense of humor, I have a great laugh. Things you don't like about yourself. My toes are a little short and weird. My feet look like paddles. I can't even fit into good shoes, and I really can't. So what? So what? So what I can't fit into cute shoes? Does that make me any less of a good person than I am? Absolutely not. It's something I can't change. So what? So what? The things you like, great. That's what you just finished doing. That's wonderful. The things you don't like, you know what? They're just things you don't like. Okay? Everyone has things they don't like. Everyone has things they like. Everyone has things about themselves that they like and things that they don't like. And the most important thing about things that you don't like about yourself is so what? Because like I said before, that person who you see in the mirror is the most important person to you because that's the one person you're stuck with. So after that, which was step 4, you need to go on to step 5, which is realize that you are worth it. You need to realize that with things that are not quite so perfect, you need to realize that you're worth every single happiness that you can possibly find. Why? Just because you're alive. Just because you're alive, you're worthy of happiness. That's it. Same thing with everybody else. You don't need more reason than that. Number 6. Once you fully believe number 5, that you're worth it, and what I mean believe it, I mean you have to believe it with every single fiber of your being. You need to think about those people who are your friends and your mentors and peers, and you need to think, do these people make me happy? You need to wonder, why are you friends with them? If they make you feel uncomfortable and they make you feel like this small, you need to ask yourself, is that person truly worth being your friend? You need to go and talk to them and sit down and have a real conversation and be like, I've been doing some thinking and I'm kind of realizing that these are good things about me. And it's not that anything about you is bad, but it's that there are a couple things you do, X, Y, and Z, that make me feel a little not so good about myself. And I would be really thankful if you tried not to do those things. And if that person says, okay, I'm so sorry, I didn't really mean it. And sometimes people don't even realize that they do things that offend you because guess what? We're all people and we're just trying to figure ourselves out. We don't even realize that we're hurting people. It's just kind of the way it is. If we sit down and try to talk to each other and work things out, I'm sure plenty of people will be less likely to do those things that bug you. And if they don't respect you and don't want to help you with that, then they're not worthy of being your friend. It should not be your friend. And I know that it's really, really hard to drop friends. Believe me. I've had to do it a couple times, and it's one of the hardest things you have to do because you spent so much time with them and they're in so many memories. But if they make you feel terrible and they're not willing to try to work with you as you're growing, then they're not really worth it. And the last thing, which is number 7, which is what we're on already, I know, we're almost done, yes, is that now that you've had to do a little bit of, some damage control over your life, you're going to feel a little bit of a release, or at least I did. I felt kind of like a new lease on life that things are now possible. So what I want you to do is for you to look ahead while living in the present. And what that means is that thing that's really your thing that you really love. Think about what you want to do with it and how you want to live with it. I mean, enjoy right now, but also keep the future in mind and think that the future is full of endless possibilities that you can make step towards today. And all of that starts with you accepting yourself. My name is Ariel Ceylan. Thanks so much for watching. Those are my 7 not so easy and yet not quite so hard steps on acceptance and accepting yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.